Okay, so just following up on the last video that I just did the other day on the M flare that came off from the sun. Managed to get a hit on one of the earthquakes, which is just to show you that quickly, which happened down in Indonesia. We had the 6.2, which kicked off pretty much at the time that I said it was going to kick off in South America, but it didn't. It kicked off in Indonesia instead. I did say Indonesia was going to hit after South America, and I think I got that the wrong way around, basically. But we'll get back to that in a minute, just to sort of show you what's been happening recently, and this is what's created a few problems about that sort of prediction. We've had earlier on today, or yesterday, on the 10th, an X flare at 17:45. That's 17:45 UTC time. This is quite a big flare, and if we can read here, it's a G-effective Sunspot 2158. Produced a strong solar flare this afternoon, September the 10th, measuring X1.6 at 17:45. Just look at that speed. It's going at 3,750 kilometers per second. And it's, as I say here, is an impressive estimated velocity. And that happened at 17:45 UTC time. Now, that was approaching the time that I thought things were going to start kicking off in in Asia, but actually got it the wrong way around, so it's in South America. If we just go through to the earthquake log for today, you can see recently the last one that just come up is the Indonesia 4.7. But what is quite interesting is this one here, which is the 5.3, which is here in Alaska. If you just look at the time, it's 18:28 UTC time. Now, what is quite impressive about this is that afterwards we had, later on in the evening, nearly sort of 20 past 10 UTC time in South America, in Chile, where this is exactly what I thought it was going to do. Now, this X flare has suppressed that earthquake, so it's brought it right down to a 4.5, and you'll see why. Let me just show you a video released by a clip from a video released by SolarHam, which is very good information site for solar flares. Here you can see the X-ray flux hits the X flare here, but this is the most interesting part. Look at that. I'm just going to put it on pause. You hit pretty much on Central America fully there, and it deepens right down to actually the Canada section. Let me just bring that back up. The Canada section gets hit by the solar flare as it gradually works its way up through into North America. I'll get this right in a minute. Hang on a second. There you go. Right, now that sort of pinches it there on the Alaskan ridge, and if you imagine, this is where it starts to create a lot of energy influxes around there, which is where the Iceland volcano is still knocking off. So that's been creating a few problems there again, but it's that section there. Let's just have a quick look on the earthquake map, and it is this one here, which is the 5.3, which came pretty much around about 3/4 of an hour afterwards. That X flare, and the thing is, this X flare is going directly into our direction. Here it is taking off from the sun. It's taking off at the 10th of there, and this is the Earth here. So it's just about to hit around about this time now, on September the 12th, the very early parts of the morning of September the 12th. That's Friday morning. As it flies through, I think it's going to be hitting. We've seen this flare here, this earthquake here, and I still think if we look at the GMLS map here, we've got the groupings up in North America, up in Alaska, in this section here where it was supposed to block the vibration coming up. So then we ended up with a 4.5 down there, which I said it was going to be reasonably bigger, and it didn't actually happen because it got suppressed by that X flare there and produced that earthquake, which pretty much hit around about 28. Now what that's going to do is actually going to run this vibration a lot quicker through the system around here, and I think we should be looking at a little bit before the 12th of September. So we're looking at around about Thursday. I would have thought around about sort of 4 or 5 o'clock, 1600 hours UTC time, and we should be looking at around about an earthquake around Japan, unfortunately. So Fukushima people, watch out please, and also around this section here, because it's going to be running back down on the yellow line, and that's going to force a bit of tension here on the 24 mark. I still think it's going to force it back down the red line eventually as well as it gets closer, and we're still going to, I reckon this is going to be a very sensitive zone here as we get to closer and closer to the 21st of September, and I think that's going to be another point of interest down there for later on. That's closer to the morning of the Friday, the 12th of September. But I think the major quakes are going to start hitting around about this section here, and as I say, I reckon that's probably going to start hitting around about Thursday afternoon, just before the X flare gets here, as it starts compressing the energy of the area, and as it runs back, as that compression runs back down that line there, I reckon we're going to get a nice 6-pointer, 6.3, 6.4 down in that section on the Friday morning. But on the Thursday afternoon, we might be hitting the 6.4, 6.5 around this sort of section here, back in that Indonesia section there where we had that earlier on the other day, 6.2 in the zone of 24, but also in the zone of 28. I think that's very suspect place there, and I think that's where it could be quite hectic. Anyway, so a little bit of a heads up on that front, and just an altercation on the prediction of the last one. Hope you enjoy it. Don't worry, don't stress. It's just the prana energy doing her thing and releasing the energies. It's going to be quite good actually for the Earth. It's going to calm the weather down a little bit, so we shouldn't get so much fluctuations and storms and everything like that. That's definitely going to calm the storms down in California and stuff like that, so they get a lot less flooding, and it should also help out with the cooling of the tensions in places like Ukraine and Iraq and places like that. I think that sort of thing is going to be fizzling out. It's old hat, kids stuff, war, you know what I mean? Just forget it. Anyway, love from me to you and your crew. Hope you enjoy it. Take care.